Hi guys, and welcome again to another guided shamanic journey with me, Declan Quigley, and of Anamnaska. And I'd like to especially highlight and welcome all those people who have joined me tonight for the first time in the last few weeks. So you're very, very welcome, and it's wonderful to see you here. So thank you. And tonight we are going to be following on from what we had been doing in the last couple of weeks, and that is in regard to emotional healing and the release of that, which is fundamentally important. It's fundamentally uh, a positive move forward, taking control, and that in these days of repression and suppression, overt control, I think to take control of ourselves and our attitude and move forward in a positive manner. I think is one of the most important things. So, hello, Angela. You're very welcome, as always. Neve, Brenda, you're all very welcome. And thanks for joining us, and of course, thanks for supporting us all through these lockdowns. And I suppose the attitude with myself and my colleague Eileen McCourt is that we put information out there, and following that, you decide what you're going to do with that. And as Eileen, Declan, what does that mean, Eileen? um, Basically, what we're trying to do is put this information out there, and for you to ask questions, because questions are the first step in the new world and walking into the new world, and of course, the Great Awakening, which I fully believe is happening at the moment. So tonight is about journeying to the heart chakra, and for all of you who are involved in energy work or have an understanding of those things, it's about emotional healing. It's about the healing of love. And obviously, in an environment where, in a world actually, where emotional healing isn't valued, where I think healing in general isn't valued, that we must fit into a square hole in our very round pegness. I think that it is so important to follow the ways of the ancient people, the natural wisdom. I mean, we know between us all that we have these emotions. We are hurt, we are damaged in life, and we move forward. And we carry that damage with us, we carry that baggage with us. And in the last journey I did, we were climbing a cliff face, and we were carrying a rucksack full of rocks, and those rocks were the emotional damage and the emotional weight that we were carrying. And that was for the lower chakras. So we're moving up on this journey to the heart chakra and the throat chakra. So the heart chakra is about emotional healing, and of course the throat chakra is about speaking your truth. What is your truth? Do you know your truth? And sometimes, through whatever reason, fear, peer opinion, we're not allowed to express an alternative viewpoint. And in fact, we've seen over the last year that that alternative viewpoint can sometimes be censored. And that's a fundamental wrong. So we must speak our truth. We must put it out there, how we see ourselves, how we see the world, and how we want to go about things. And in a loving way, in a positive way. All criticism is equally as bad. But if we have something to say that is potentially shocking, is potentially agitating to some people, we should try our best to follow the basic rules of communication and get the information out there in the most positive way. So resolutions, that's what we're looking for, resolutions. We're seeking answers. And conflict doesn't always do that, or doesn't allow us to do that. So yeah, this last few weeks has all been about healing and turning back the damage that has been done in this very, very toxic world, especially on our mental health. And I suppose the shamanic view of mental health and the treatment of is to work together in community to help that one person, those two people, or how many ever, but to help the members of the tribe. And that's not the case. We're living in a very dysfunctional world. On a lot of occasions, and I'm not saying that the medical profession is all negative or all wrong in this, but on a lot of occasions, people with mental health problems are whacked full of chemicals to close them down, or they're shut away in bins out of the public gaze so that their perhaps unusual behavior is not drawn attention to. And in old societies, in the old shamanic societies, in the old tribal system, those people will be looked after by everyone, not just a select few. So I think it's all our responsibility to tend to the mental health problems around us. And also, on the other side of that, to be able to speak our truth if we're having difficulty with our mental health, if we're prone to anxiety, if we're prone to depression, which many of us are. I mean, this is a very dysfunctional world we're living in. So naturally enough, we're going to react to that in some way. And it's usually in terms of our mental health being compromised. So to that end, I wanted to talk tonight about what I'm starting off in next week. And that is a series of weekly meditations and anxiety busters and hopefully meditations that will lift people out of depression and maybe give people an insight. Of course, the last year will tell us the toll on our mental health, the separation from the people in our community, separation from our loved ones, the very foundation of our lives, the people around us. And we have these electronic machines, wonderful as they are, but they're no substitute for human touch. They're no substitute for human interaction. We can talk, but it's not the same, as you all know. So next Sunday, about 9 o'clock, this Sunday coming actually, we will be starting off a new series of live Facebook events, or whatever you want to call them, meditations, and perhaps conversations around what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, how we're affected and impacted by the world around us in terms of our mental health, in terms of anxiety, in terms of depression and negative mental health. So I would love it if there's anyone there who wants to contribute to that, wants to talk about that type of thing, has any suggestions, to drop us a line and join us on Sunday night at 9 o'clock, and hopefully get ourselves into a space where we can join together in terms of boosting our mental health by that sense of connection, obviously to the sacred, to the great spirit, to God, whatever you want to call it, the universe source. Because that is what will make the difference. Because by doing that, by going into a meditative state, going into a journey, you are connecting with the divine, but you're also connecting with yourself, your own spirit, which is obviously part of a great web of, of consciousness that is all around us. So that's what I planned for this Sunday. So hopefully you'll be able to join us. I think it was Molly. I don't know if Molly, you'll be able to tune in. Molly's in the US, and she wasn't sure what time 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. was for Central Standard Time in the US. So I think I gave her the right directions. I hope so. Molly, if you're here, you're very welcome. And if you're not, I'm glad you caught this at a later date. So, but basically, that's what we have planned. And if you could join us, and again, Molly, I don't know what time that would be off the top of my head in the US, but we'll definitely, I'll make a point of finding that out and posting that for 9 p.m. I think it's 3 p.m. I think it's 3 p.m. in the US, and it's 9 p.m. here. So, and obviously, anyone is very welcome to join us and participate. And hopefully, coming together, we can all bring something to the table, something positive and something healing, which is kind of the point. So, anyway, a few wee plugs to make for my mentor and colleague, Eileen McCourt, for a new book, which is an absolute wonder, as always. Out of the darkness of deception and despair, into the light of truth. And that's the book that Eileen has just written and released there. And it is a wow. And of course, we were all trying to figure out what's been going on this last year and what it's all about, you know, how it impacts upon us and all that sort of stuff. And where should we go from there? And I think, for me, anyway, having read this, this answers a lot of the questions. And more than that, poses some even more important questions. So, Eileen McCourt, out of the darkness and deception and despair, out of the darkness of deception and despair into the light of truth. So this can be got on Amazon and a few outlets in Armagh and a few other places. And if you go to Eileen's Facebook page, Eileen McCourt, you'll be able to get more details of how you can get that book and what it's all about. Okay, so that's Eileen. Also, I had a wonderful connection online this week past. I was trolling through Facebook, which I rarely ever do. I try to stay away from Facebook as much as I possibly can, other than this. But I was trolling through Facebook anyway. Came across this beautiful poetry that really touched my heart. And it's very much an Irish theme to it. It's an Irish writer, I believe, from Galway, I think, Kevin McManus. And I just thought, you know, it's very appropriate. It was very shamanic in its understanding of the connection between all things and the impact and the connection with nature and the trees and the pardon me, the elements and all those things in the world. And of course that's fundamentally shamanic, you know, in the fact that we're living in a great web of energy and consciousness where we're connected to all things, not just other people, not just animals, all things. Every molecule is interacting at some level. So I read this beautiful poetry and thought, my God, I'm gonna email this guy and ask him for one of his books, and he did, and he sent it on, and it's absolutely stunning. It really, you know, the thing about poetry for me is it speaks directly to the heart, rather than a story or trying to get your head around characters and all that type of thing, which is wonderful too, of course. But poetry speaks directly to the heart, and this certainly does. It certainly spoke directly to me. So rush out and get it right now. Kevin McManus, Spirits in the Forest. You'll not be disappointed. It's a work of great beauty, and even if it's just one of those books you pick up every now and again at random, and it really lifts the spirit. I guess I could post the address where you can get this. I think it's on Amazon, but you can certainly get it directly from Kevin McManus himself. And Eileen's book can be gotten all the usual outlets. The wonderful people down in the zone, Mary Kate and Paula, they stock it. There's one in Warren Point, and they stock a lot of other things too, but they stock these. So if you're looking for this book, Amazon and a few other outlets, including the zone. And Kevin McManus, I think, can be got online. Perhaps Amazon too, I'm not sure. But check it out. Great stuff. Great stuff. So, tonight we're all about the journey to the heart chakra. And the heart chakra, obviously, is chakras in general. For those of you who don't know, chakras in general are the wheels that spin and the energy ports that we plug into the energy around us, the energy of the universe. And we receive all that energy from the world around us through our chakras. And obviously we put out our own energy into that. Now, the work of the heart chakra especially is very related to love and relationships and how we interact on that level. And obviously in such a dysfunctional world with hugely dysfunctional people, myself included, we are damaged by the negativity around us. And we hold that emotional input into our hearts. We hold that in our heart chakra. And of course, that's negative energy. And if you have negative energy in one of your chakras, it slows that chakra down, it slows it from spinning. And you're not pulling in the appropriate amount of energy. And it's very much colored by this negative energy. So it's incumbent upon us, and it's very, very important that we release that energy as much as we possibly can. And so that's what we're about tonight, if we can release some of that negative energy. And then, of course, we're moving up to the throat chakra, and the throat chakra is about speaking our truth, our creativity, how we interact with the world in a very positive way. The chakras are orchestrated or developed or placed in a type of evolutionary sort of way. So you begin with the root chakra, which is about your basic needs. You move up to the sacral chakra, and that is about our procreation, our survival of the species. We're moving up then to the solar plexus. That's about ourselves, our confidence, our interaction with the world, the gifts we have. I go to the heart chakra, and then it's emotional stuff. It's much more cognitive. It's much more about interacting with the great web of energy and interacting with the people around us. Throat chakra also is about interacting, but in a very direct vocal way, and a very direct creative way as well. And then we move on up to the other chakras, where we begin to move into the realm of spirit, and how we connect with the spirits around us and the spirits of the land and the earth and all those intelligences. And then our crown chakra, obviously, is our plug-in to the universe. And that's very, very important. But today, or tonight, it's about our heart chakra and our throat chakra. So, we're going to journey to that now. This is going to be a middle world journey, I think, because we're on the cusp between this world and the world of the earth and the world of the spirit and the universe. So you're right in the middle there. You're right in the middle of our cognition and our body. So we're going to go for the middle world of this one. And with the middle world journey, the symbolism is that you step through a doorway. We're in the middle world, but there's that part of the middle world that is beyond our understanding, beyond our view, beyond our sight, beyond our limited senses. So to do that, we need to step through a doorway, as opposed to going down or up. We're stepping through a doorway into the middle world. And that will be the first thing that you have to decide upon when you're doing this journey, because it's really important to make this personal. This is a guided journey, a symbolism, it's a visualization. So if you visualize somewhere you know and stepping through a doorway into the world of spirit, and that's the symbolism involved. So the second thing that you need to do is you need to think of somewhere somewhere in this world that is calm and peaceful and secure and safe for you. Somewhere that maybe in nature, hopefully in nature, but it doesn't have to be in nature. So if you can visualize that, and that will then be our launching pad to move over into the world of spirit. Okay. So let's do it without further ado. So begin by breathing very, very deeply. Again, with your breath, you're bringing in the spirit of life and you're releasing the spirit of life. And this is a continual ebb and flow with this. So if you breathe into the count of 4, fill your lungs to capacity and hold that then for the count of 4, and then release very slowly for the count of 4, completely expelling all the air from your lungs. So do that now. Begin that process now. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that pattern going. Picture yourself in this place of safety, this place that you know so well. And to help you visualize this place, bring in all your senses. So begin with your sight. So visualize this space all around you. everything in very, very small detail. Are there any sounds that you represent with this place? What do you remember hearing in this place, usually? Are there any smells? Smell is one of the greatest connections to memory. We always remember the smells of places. What's the temperature like in this place? What does it feel like? Is it cold? Is it warm? Wet? Windy? Even? Or a beautiful summer's day? Reach out and touch something, anything at all. How does that feel in your hand? Now it's time to begin our journey into the middle world. So in the way that you've decided, be it a doorway, a curtain, a gateway, step through that now, and you will immediately find yourself on a beautiful sandy beach. Late evening. sun is hanging precariously over the horizon, waiting for the fall into the water. Stiff wind blowing. It blows around your ears and blows your hair. The water is choppy, and you can feel the spray on your face. In shamanic thought and philosophy, water represents the emotions. And out in front of us, in the red light of sunset, awaits our heart chakra. And to do this, we must walk directly into the water. But in this world of non-ordinary reality, in this shamanic consciousness, we can survive underwater. We can breathe comfortably underwater. So set out now. As we step into the waves, we feel that the water is pleasantly warm. Not overly hot, not overly cold. That Goldilocks zone for our senses. And we feel the water rise up our body, up to our knees, up to our midriff, as we walk steadily into the waves. And we feel the pull of the current. Feel the impact of the wind as it rises the water that sprays our face. And we feel it rising up to our chest, up to our shoulders. Up to our throat. Walk on and we allow the water to cover our head, and surprisingly, it's very pleasant. And we feel engulfed seabed, getting deeper and deeper in the water, the surface of the water above our heads. We see fish swimming around us in curiosity. We see the rocks on the seabed. Onward we walk, and we see a cave up ahead. And the cave is illuminated in red and green. Move towards that cave. Come up to the entrance and step inside. And there in front of us is the spirit of the sea and the spirit of the heart chakra. Speak to this spirit. This spirit has presented for you, for your help and for your healing. Speak to this spirit about the hurt and the pain that you've endured. Since birth. What has hurt and damaged your heart? What has made an indelible impression on your heart, on your emotions? Point in lying to the spirit of the heart chakra. No point in minimizing the damage. Speak of your experience. Speak of your hurt. The spirit of the heart chakra tells you that you are in the place of ebb and flow of the water in this cave will carry away this hurt, if you allow it. If you make the decision that you have carried this burden long enough. Make a commitment to the spirit of the heart chakra to no longer allow this hurt to control your life. Let it go. Let go of that pain. It doesn't serve you anymore. You can share your deepest, darkest secrets with the spirit of the heart chakra, because the spirit of the heart chakra already knows that. The spirit of the heart chakra is as much part of you as any other part of your body. The spirit of the heart chakra is moving the water in a vortex around you. And it rages around you, coming from the ground up your body in a great whirlpool. Picking up all those negative emotions and carrying them upward in this vortex. Washing away the hurt and the pain. Emotions that block your questions. And the vortex rises up your body, creating that line of division between the calm water of the cave and the tempest of the clearing of negative energy. And then, as soon as it began, it becomes calm. And you're changed. And the spirit of the heart chakra motions to its left, where there are 3 oyster shells in a line on a rock. And inside each oyster shell is a message for you. An answer to your questions. Those questions that have filled your mind, perhaps for years. Lift up the first oyster shell and retrieve your message. To the next one, committing that one to mind. Open the oyster shell and read the message. And then finally, the last message. Open the shell and read it. And you'll notice that along with that is another piece of paper below it. And on that is a mantra for you to say. A short mantra. Just a few words. Words to be repeated. Words that are healing in nature. Put that small message in your pocket. Now it's time to thank the spirit of the heart chakra. And say goodbye. And make your way back out. back towards the shore again. And rising out of the waves, back into the air. The water slowly dripping down as you rise out of the surface and make your way towards the land. That place, that threshold, that is neither one thing nor the other. It is not the land, it is not the sea, it's a mixture between the both. A very magical and sacred place for the ancient Celts and the pre-Celts, the Arya. And as you surface from the water and make your way up the beach, you notice that there's a great hill in front of you, rising sharply up into the air. Begin your ascent. This hill, this peak, is related to the throat chakra. Climb upward. Some of the stones are loose and you slip, but regain your footing and continue. Climbing upward and upward sharply into the sky. Look behind you and look over the water. The sun is sinking lower and lower above the horizon. You feel the wind sharply again on your face. Climbing upward and upward over the loose stones. Climbing upward and upwards. There are thorny bushes on the way. They may tear at your clothes, but continue. Move on, move forward, up to the throat chakra. The place of great creativity. The top of the hill of the peak is in sight. Keep climbing. The wind is getting stronger now. You can still feel the soft embrace of the sun as it dies away with the day. And then you find yourself at the summit. Look all around you. Pay close attention to what you see. Let the wind play around your body. Feel the pressure on your face. You are energized by the wind. You are lighter because of what you left behind in the water. There's real hope and potential. But for healing of the throat chakra, you must speak your truth. You must do more than speak your truth. You must scream your truth. So put your hand in your pocket and retrieve that piece of paper that was in the last oyster shell. Read what it says and scream it out at the top of this mountain, of this hill, of this peak. Scream it as loud as you can. Allow yourself to speak. Let the world know who you are. Let the world hear you. Feel the release. Having let go of these emotions, having given yourself voice, feel how your heart lifts. Feel how your heart is lighter. Feel the potential. To move forward without the baggage. And now make your way back down the mountain. Over the loose stones, through the jagged bushes, as the sun eventually sinks into the water. Moving downward and downward back to the beach. And eventually you find yourself there. And the last wisp of the sun disappears. Now you go back to that place where you landed in the middle world. Back to that gateway, that doorway. And step through, back to that place that you know so well. That place of familiarity, of safety and security. And stop for a moment and think about what you've lost, what you've let go of. Carrying for so many years. Now it's time to bring our spirit back into our body. So again, feel the heaviness of the body. Feel the denseness. Feel the weight. Feel the weight of your legs and your arms and your head. Ground yourself fully again in this body. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, open your eyes. Thanks for joining us, folks. I hope that was useful to you. I hope it was meaningful. And I hope you released something. These journeys are journeys you can do over and over again. And I would encourage you to do that because every time you do them, you're releasing that wee bit more. And you're becoming lighter. And leaving behind those things of you, those parts of you that you don't really need anymore. The hurt, the guilt, shame, and all those negative emotions, negative energies. Okay, folks, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for sticking around. Thank you, Declan needed that from Eileen. You're very welcome, Eileen. And yeah, I think we all need that. I think we all need that from time to time because we carry too much. We carry too much stuff around with us. Claire, thank you. Angela, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, guys. So listen, as I said earlier, we're starting this new program on a Sunday night, about 9 o'clock. It may vary, but it'll always be on the Sunday night, and it's about beginning the week in a calm state. It's about looking at the anxiety that we carry. It's looking at depressive issues that we hold, and bringing our spirit up beyond that, so that we can deal with that. And obviously there'll be a bit of conversation around that and a bit of sharing of opinion. But I think it's well needed as well. I think the impact of lockdown and all those things that have happened have really impacted upon us. So Join us 9 o'clock this coming Sunday. And again, thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you then.